Traveling in a camper, RV, or van can be very tricky. Wait. Ooh. How do you know if everything will be safe or nothing will be stolen while you're away from your camp? After traveling in a camper for a month and living in one for years, let's jump into it and show you all the things that you need to know, have, and be prepared for while traveling in an RV, a camper, or a van. So this one is specifically for people that have a trailer. Now a tongue lock is very common. So when you hook the trailer up to the actual hitch, you have the lock that locks the trailer to the hitch itself. But what happens when you go to pull away and you unhook from the trailer to go explore the cities or the national parks? Well, you're left with the tongue of your trailer exposed, where somebody could actually set the trailer on top of their trailer hitch and slowly drive away with it. So one of the things that I highly suggest you get is a ball lock. The ball locks are available at almost all the superstores, especially like Walmart or a trailer and RV superstore. 1.5 inch, right?
1.5 inch lock.
For the ball? Bam, right there.
Bam.
There you go.
This is only 24 bucks, but I'd rather spend $24 now than lose $10,000 on the camper. We got it. So now we got the double lock. We got the ball lock and the tongue lock, so nobody can hook up and pull away. Now this one's kind of something that I did prior to leaving, and this was actually my dad's idea. So two of the main things that end up going missing are your spare tire and your trailer hitch. It's unfortunately quite common for people to take your trailer hitch out of your truck or unbolt your spare tire and take the spare tire. So you can either take the spare tire and put it inside or underneath the RV, trailer, or camper. Or what we did is we put the spare tire on the back tire rack like we would of the trailer, but we took a long chain and we cut the chain, ran it through the bumper and the frame of the camper, and then fed it through the rim of the tire and locked it with a padlock. Now this stops anybody from actually taking the tire. Yeah, you could still unbolt it from the spare tire rack, but you're actually not going to be able to take the tire itself. Now the next one is more of a hack and a website that I highly suggest you using. It's called Boondockers Welcome. Now we actually use this almost every night on our trip, and it ended up saving us over $1,800 in a matter of 21 days. I mean, imagine what you could do with $1,800 in under a month. What Boondockers Welcome is it's basically a membership-based website that works phenomenal. Some of the hosts require like a $5 fee for the use of the electric or water and Wi-Fi, but all the hosts that we had didn't charge anything, so you pay the $50 yearly membership fee, and then you can just contact the host prior to arriving. We're in quite a dilemma right now. We're supposed to be using Boondockers.
Good news, guys. Boondockers just got back to me. We literally sent this request 2 minutes ago, and now we have a place to stay.
Which last night when the cop was knocking on our door, did not seem like we were going to have a place to stay.
Actually, dude, we got the next 2 nights.
Most of the hosts we contacted accepted our reservations within the hour prior to arriving. The hosts are all over the US and Canada, but we stayed very close to all the main national parks that we wanted to visit, including in Bar Harbor, and we didn't have to pay. This is an incredibly friendly website, and the hosts are all amazing. We did not expect this, so we know we really love Boondockers and using Boondockers, but our host here actually has just brought out a gift basket for homemade, handmade stuff that she makes, and she would like us to take one thing as like a souvenir.
It's so cool. So the Boondockers community, everybody we've been meeting, everywhere we've stayed, every host has been so friendly, so nice, and so outgoing, because as we mentioned, everybody loves this community. And our host here, Gail, she's so nice. She's a very big RVer. She's traveled all around the US with her husband in an RV, and she makes souvenirs.
Bruno even loves going inside.
Seriously,
like,
where
how
else
can you imagine
go?
that a host lets your dog go inside her house?
Just run in. We were here for 2 minutes yesterday, and Bruno was inside of the house.
What? Alright, this one's pretty self-explanatory, but not all campsites or places you will be camping, especially if you use Boondockers Welcome, will have electric. So what I highly suggest you doing is getting a generator, whether it be a small generator just to charge your essentials, your cell phones and your cameras, or if you get a big generator that can power the whole van or RV and trailer. Now what I did was actually borrow the generator from my uncle. I put it in the back of the truck and I chained it up. Again, so nobody could take it.
So Jimmy's dad is on the phone right now. Oh!
Woo! Every time we filled up gas for the truck, we would just top off the gas for the generator. It only costs about $5 to fill the generator, and the generator lasted about 16 hours of full use. So we had it running non-stop as it was raining, and we were working in the camper the entire day. Now this is super helpful, not only to make sure you get clean power no matter where you are, but you can pull over on the side of the road like we did and cook lunch with the microwave. One of the funnier things is about camping and having your own camper, you can literally just drag the wire out, hook up to the generator in the back of the truck, you run inside whenever you want some lunch, and boom, you got Chris making some Chinese food.
Let's go. I love this.
Alright, this next one is specifically for people that live in the US, and it is incredibly helpful. I'm not sure if Spectrum or Time Warner is outside of the US, so what I'm going to tell you is something I learned halfway through the trip, and it is amazing. Spectrum is basically an internet, phone, and cable provider within the US. Now, they're specifically our provider in New York here in my house and office. Now, if you do use Spectrum, you can log into the My Spectrum app on your phone and computer, and because you are a Spectrum customer, anywhere that you drive around that has Spectrum Wi-Fi, your phone and computers will automatically connect you to their Wi-Fi. Now, this is businesses, this is houses, this is anybody that uses Spectrum, and it is incredible. Every time I'm driving down the road, my phone will drop down a little notification. It'll say, Spectrum Internet available. Click here to connect. No passwords required, nothing. Now, this is phenomenal, and it's fast internet. If you don't have Spectrum, there are a couple places that we have found have very good, strong Wi-Fi that is reliable. Dunkin' Donuts, and of course, the Golden Arches, McDonald's. McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts tend to have very good Wi-Fi, and it's unlimited. If you're in a camper, you can pull your camper into the parking lot, get yourself a little Wi-Fi booster, connect the Wi-Fi booster in your RV, van, or camper, and then you're good to have internet inside your camper in the parking lot. You can do what we did, and you can just sit in the parking lot in the middle of the day and connect to Dunkin' Donuts Wi-Fi. Because sometimes you gotta work and there's nothing you can do. This is not the ideal working situation, but we'll make it work.
Thank you.
Alright, so this one isn't for vans and it's not for campers. It's more for your travel trailers. Now, when I was towing our trailer, it was quite difficult, especially when you hit the highways and you have a lot of open space around you and the wind's coming across the fields over the highways. It became quite hard to actually drive the normal speed limit because the trailer was swaying so much. Well, if you're in a travel trailer and you're towing a travel trailer down the road, one thing I suggest you getting is sway bars. Now, sway bars actually connect to the trailer hitch, which are directly connected to the truck, and then they connect to the front tongue of the actual trailer. Now, the tighter you make these, the less it's gonna sway. They are quite difficult.
How's that, dude? Better.
Wait. Ooh. No. Yep, go. Go.
So, definitely not the easiest task, but it's gonna make your life a whole lot easier.
After we got him on there, I promise it was worth it because the drive was so much easier and we could actually go the speed limit while driving down the highway. Now, these are just some of the accessories and hacks that I used every time I'm traveling to make sure that my trips are always safe, secure, and locked up. Some things aren't always pretty and easy, but you always have to have a plan B and make sure you're prepared. One of the top things I can suggest you do is always double and triple check everything prior to leaving. The last thing you want to do is pull out of your campsite or wherever you're staying that night and leave something behind or forget to put something down or hook something up. So one of the very important things that you never want to forget to do is always take your antenna down. Not all campers have them, but this one specifically does. So what we're going to do is take the antenna down. It's right there. There's a little screw right there, a little handle, and you're going to basically crank it down. And the reason you want to do this, one, you don't want something hanging off the top of your camper, but you don't want it to catch on any low power lines or any lines in general, and you just want to make sure it doesn't break off while you're driving down the road. So one of the things you can do is you can make a little checklist. You can put it by the door. That way every time you go to walk out or pack up, you can just go through the checklist and remember all the little things. I mean, look at this. Chris forgot to actually hook up the brake cables for the trailer.
I hate that the next pro tip is coming at you this soon, but the next pro tip is to always make sure to double check your setup and your rig before you take off. Now, Jimmy left me in charge of this because he thought I had it down because I've been with him the last 2 weeks. Well, it turns out I haven't learned that much. So, I didn't actually hook up the brake lights to the trailer.
That's more than brake lights, brake lines too.
Brake lines too, so very important. So basically you grab this thing and you're gonna remove the truck lights, stick them back in here. Take this thing off, slide that in. Now we're gonna double check everything, all right? Let's make sure our chains are good. Good, brake lights in there, cotter pins good. We're locked in, sway bars look good. Gotta make sure the sway bars have the lock, that little lock pushed down on them. All right, Jamie, what do you think? We're looking good?
I think we're good to go. I mean, we would have had no brake lights or trailer brakes the entire trip. I just get this little gut feeling in me, and it always tells me to stop and double and triple check everything just to make sure everything is exactly the way it should be. Now, life in a trailer, camper, or RV can be very free, relaxing, and amazing. If you don't have or remember these things, things can go wrong very quickly. Now, if I forgot anything and you can suggest anything to me for my next trip in the camper, please let me know what I should add to the list and what I should purchase and bring with me on the trip so that my trip is that much easier, as well as everybody else that's traveling in an RV.